probably should be too close to it, huh? Oh, cool though. Just go.
What's watching from the trees? Hidden shapes, blinking eyes, massive figures just standing there, silent. These aren't distant blurs. These are the 9 chilling moments Bigfoot was caught watching us. Bigfoot isn't always running. Sometimes it just watches. Quiet, still, hidden just enough to be missed, unless you're really looking. From dense forests to backwoods trails, these 9 creepy sightings prove one thing. While we search for Bigfoot, it might already be watching us, and it's closer than you think. In Florida's Green Swamp, something was waiting behind the trees. At first it looked like a shadow. Then it moved. It stepped out just enough to be seen, then vanished. Take a look at this.
I was lucky enough to get a picture on a phone that I had, that I brought up here with me. And in the picture, if you notice, you can see his arm to the side, so he's already starting to turn.
The figure seemed to peek from behind the tree. The camera zooms, trying to lock on, but it's gone. Moments like this make you wonder, what if you were standing there? Would you chase it? Or would you freeze? Later that night, deep in the swamp, the sounds began. A splash, a low snort from the dark. The forest wasn't quiet, but something was moving. The question is, what? Watch this clip closely.
Down toward the laurel thicket behind us. When he got completely out of sight, he let out a call like a hoot, almost like a woo.
The grass shifts. A strange sound cuts through the night. Could it have been a Bigfoot moving silently while the camera operator's own footsteps masked the noise? It's moments like this that pull you deeper into the mystery. What's hiding in the Green Swamp? Let's jump to West Virginia. A quiet morning, October 21st, 2019. That's when Billy Humphrey came face to face with something that changed everything. Here's what the camera actually captured.
This right here is proof of how big he was.
Along with large footprints, Humphrey says the size of the figure he saw was something that he has never seen before.
So as he turns to walk off,
Billy snapped a photo of a massive figure before it slipped into the woods. It was turning away, heading into the thick brush. But the size, the shape, unmistakable. Take a look at this.
all I can tell any viewer listening to this that they're 100% real. Nobody can tell me what I didn't, what I seen, what I didn't see.
Next to where the figure vanished, Billy found enormous footprints, 16.5 inches long, 10 inches wide. No animal he knew left tracks like that. And this wasn't just a brief sighting. He saw its arms, long, powerful, reaching near its knees as it moved. Billy used to laugh at Bigfoot stories. But now, he's convinced. He knows what he saw. His wife saw it too. He stands by it.
I mean, that's all I got to say. He's real. He's 100% real. And he's in West Virginia.
He believes Bigfoot is real, and that it's right there in West Virginia's forests. Two different places, two close encounters. One big question: are we finally starting to see what's been watching us all along? What do you think? Did the green swamp camper catch the skunk ape on film? Did Billy really face a Bigfoot in West Virginia? Or are these tricks of the eye, moments we want to believe? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced something like this? Let's keep the search alive. Something was there, right in front of the tree. It peeked out. It moved. Then it was gone. In the wild, these moments come fast. You blink, you miss them. Todd Standing knows this feeling too well. He spent years deep in the wilderness, not chasing stories, living them. He's filmed what most people will never see. Sasquatch right there, face to face. One of those moments, the camera locked onto a huge figure. The eyes were wet, the face was clear. This wasn't just a shadow. It wasn't just a trick of the light. The space between the eyes told the story. Bigger than a human, wider. The head? Massive. Take a look at this. The eyes blink. The face shifts. The figure moves naturally, not like a mask. This footage says it all.
It kind of looks like something standing behind that tree there. Now it looks like it came out from the tree.
That's Jake, a Sasquatch Todd encountered over many trips. A bond was built, trust formed. Jake wasn't just a figure in the woods. He was something more, a teacher, a guide. Here's what the camera actually captured. In another clip, Jake appears again. The exposure's turned up, bringing out every detail. His head dwarfs a human's. It's undeniable. Todd stood close, learning from these beings. Moments like these don't just prove they exist. They hint that Sasquatch understands us in ways we don't fully understand them. Jane appears next. A female, gentle, deliberate. You can see her watching, studying, almost guiding. She's careful, calm. Males crash through the forest. Jane glides. She doesn't run. She stands, waiting. See for yourself. Jane's presence feels different. Less threat, more curiosity.
See if I can get lucky.
The bond grows stronger. They know Todd. They let him closer. Even when the snowstorm should have made it impossible, they returned to him. They watched. They approached. One even grabbed his ankle, pulling him from his camouflage. This footage says it all.
Those are all bush cans in the tree there. Everybody drinks bush. And I did think about getting a bush beer at the convenience store.
It's not just blurry shadows. It's real. You can see the breathing, the blinking, the subtle signs that something intelligent is there. Doubters argue, but when you're there, when you feel it, it's different. Even survival experts couldn't explain what they saw. But this story doesn't end in the mountains. Deep in the Florida green swamp, another encounter unfolds. Northeastern tract, thick brush, humid air, the skunk ape's territory. Walking through the swamp, something catches the camera's eye. It stands behind a tree, then it slides out, peeking, moving with purpose. This wasn't a shadow. It wasn't a trick. It had form. It had weight.
Where is it? I'm on a monopod, so it's a little bit shaky. Tripod's in the car. It kind of looks like something standing behind that tree there.
The camera zooms in. The shape stands out. It feels real. You cross through the dense brush to find the spot, but it's gone. The bugs still buzz, the frogs still croak. The woods aren't silent. Maybe that's the sign. Maybe it wasn't what you think. Back at camp, a new plan forms. Light beams into the trees, hoping to draw attention. Minutes pass, then it happens. Strange wails echo across the swamp. More answer from the distance. See for yourself.
Like a puddle splash. Weird noise behind me. Sounded like about 40 feet back. Probably a frog.
The search pushes forward. Tracks near the power lines. Fingers. Movement. Every step deeper feels like crossing into a hidden world. Out here, stories blend with real moments. Out here, the legends feel alive. 2 encounters, 2 wild places, 1 chilling question. What's really out there? And are they watching us too? What do you think? Was that really a Sasquatch on camera? Or just something else hiding in plain sight? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt watched in the woods? Ever seen something you can't explain? Share your story. Let's figure this out together. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for what's next. It started with distant sounds, strange vocals echoing through the trees. At first they seemed far away, then closer, much closer.
Vocals going off right now. Off in the distance. You hear that? Oh, shh. I think it sounds like it's coming over this way.
The voices weren't coyotes. The tone was off. It wasn't a pattern you'd hear from known wildlife. These sounds didn't belong, not to elk, not to wolves. And they knew these woods. They grew up here, but this wasn't normal. The calls shifted back and forth, from one side of the camp, then suddenly from the other. It was like they were whooping at each other, two of them, moving, coordinated. As soon as one sound hit, the other would go silent. It went on for minutes. Then, just like that, it stopped. Immediate silence. As if something or someone called it off, like a final command to shut it down. Here's the moment it happened.
I was up here in this exact spot. The camp host is behind me, right there. The road is right here. When I came in, I didn't know who to pay or anything. I was fishing on the Columbia for steelhead.
A week later, the camp host had his own story. When everyone left the campground, the strange sounds came back. Just him, his fiancée. The tree line alive with noise. Whoops, sharp and fast. Echoes like something trying to mimic monkeys. The host listened. It didn't add up. Nothing in these woods makes sounds like that. Watch this clip closely.
I half hitched his leg around my thigh. I was laying down in my SUV. And then he shoots over to this side, and now he's looking this way. And he'd scan this way. And I heard two things rotating my truck, 180 in my pickup. When this one was moving, that one wasn't. When that one was moving, this one wasn't.
The host tried to mimic the sound later. But the real thing? It stayed with him. This wasn't a one-time event. The Columbia River Gorge is known for these encounters. A small population, but hundreds of reports. The question is, why here? Some believe it's the electromagnetic environment. Layers of volcanic rock, each with their own magnetic fingerprint, twisted and stacked from ancient eruptions. Compasses fail here. Navigation maps warn you. Cell signals drop. Some think these magnetic fields change us. They tune us like radios, letting us perceive what's always been there. The brain responds. The world around us shifts. People don't just hear things, they see them. Tracks, hair, shared encounters. This isn't just in their heads. One story takes us to the Big Lava Bed, a strange, silent place. Rough terrain, no trails, vast. Hunters avoid it. And here's where it gets unsettling. The man had over 30 years of wilderness experience. He was a search and rescue pro. He doesn't get lost. But that day, he did. He flew his drone over a trench. It crashed. He retrieved it. Then he walked, he thought, deep into the lava bed. Hundreds of meters. He found another trench, pulled out the drone, and when he looked over his shoulder, he was back where he started. His vehicle was right there. No memory of how he returned. No idea how time slipped away.
There was a tree getting splintered, and every hair was raised on my dog. He growled, he barked, did not like whatever was in camp. He was protective mode. When that tree was breaking, you heard it splintering. Crack, 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 crack. When it hit the ground, you felt the percussion come through.
Some call it time loss. Others say something intervened. This place has multiple Bigfoot sightings, missing people, strange sounds. And when you're out there, with no signal, no compass, what's really guiding you?
Rolled up the window, shut the window, came running back. My dog was still half hitched. I was so scared that I waited. I was shining a flashlight through tinted glass. It's a reflection. You can't see. And I was so scared that I wouldn't get out.
It's as if something didn't want him to go deeper. Something gently pulled him back. The gorge keeps its secrets, its sounds, its shadows.
Howdy y'all, I'm a host out here in the Gifford Pinchote Forest. I've been a camp host here for going on a week or two. I've been around a little bit and I've heard some strange noises. Usually very, very early in the morning.
And this is just the beginning. One more location pulls us in. The Broke Legs, also called the Big Lava Bed. It's a maze about the size of Manhattan, rough lava rock everywhere. Cell phones cut out here, compasses can't be trusted, hunters won't go near it.
So I was coming home from my friend Dee Dee's one night. It was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was pitch black. I seen this black cat jump off of the bank over there, and it literally took one leap.
The place is wide, empty, but stories say otherwise. Reports of Bigfoot, of the Klickitat ape cat, and of people vanishing. The terrain feels wrong, like it folds in on itself. A man with over 35 years of wilderness expertise lost his way right here. Search and rescue, wildland firefighter, a professional. He isn't the type to get lost. But that day, he did. He flew his drone, walked the trenches, thought he went deeper. Then found himself back where he started. Time gone. Distance vanished. No memory of the walk back. It's a place where trails seem to move, where the forest pushes you out, or pulls you in. The gorge isn't just strange, it's alive. And maybe, just maybe, it's watching.
This is not an area that we're familiar with, that John and I are familiar with. We're familiar with the stuff on our side,
right?
You know, and all the creatures. That sounded squatchy to me, but I can't rule out all of your known wildlife.
And the story isn't over yet. The Expedition Bigfoot team arrived in Washington, where over 500 sightings are reported each year. Right away, they found signs. 2 different track types, a huge handprint, 13 inches long, and blood, a lot of it. Something was nearby. Russell was ready to track it. This was the closest they'd ever been. Take a look at this.
What is that?
Whoa. Did you see that?
Something's coming. There is something definitely moving up there.
Russell filmed a bipedal figure walking upright, moving west. This footage says it all.
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah. Look
What?
at that.
Look at that. That is bipedal, upright walking.
On day 19, they locked onto a hotspot just 2 miles south of the seismic trip wire. It was a critical moment. The team packed fast. Bryce contacted a molecular biologist to analyze the blood Russell found. The results shocked everyone. Here's what the camera actually captured.
We're just gonna lay low and be quiet. Try and see if the forest wakes up again now that we're not moving. The forest is really quiet tonight.
The blood didn't match any known animal in the region. Nothing. But there was something else. Human DNA markers. That didn't mean the blood was human. It meant it shared DNA close to humans. Could it be a relic hominid? Maybe Bigfoot was part of a lost human branch. The theory matched. Neanderthals share 99% of human DNA. Maybe this blood belonged to something like that. Bryce pushed for full DNA sequencing. Meanwhile, the team deployed new tech, a silent balloon with thermal, night vision, and zoom cameras. It hovered quietly, scanning the area. If anything upright moved, the interceptor drone would launch. The team split up. Bryce stayed at base. Maria covered the west. Bo moved northeast. Russell returned south to the fight site. Russell heard something, heavy footsteps. Watch yourself.
After spending a lifetime in the woods, you start to learn the difference between a large animal and a smaller animal moving. Smaller animals, you're going to hear, the pattering of leaves versus what I'm hearing right now.
Something big was moving nearby. Bo heard it too. Then Russell saw it. A heat signature appeared on thermal near Maria. The drone launched. They had it. But seconds later, it vanished. Gone. Watch here.
Just lost it in the trees.
Yeah, I did too.
What direction is that?
That's in the west.
Maria, we see something moving in and around you. Are you seeing anything?
Then the seismic tripwire triggered. North side. Then again. Then a third time. 3 targets moving fast. Bryce and Bo chased them north. Maria and Russell pushed deeper. Along the way, Maria and Russell found strange hand-twisted rings made from vine maple. Fresh tracks appeared nearby, deep and wide. Then they found something bigger. A massive tree structure surrounded by bones. Some fresh, some old. This wasn't random. Something had used this place for years. At daylight, the team returned. They found even more vine rings strong enough to require real force to bend. The rings lined a path leading straight to the large structure. Around the structure, more bones. Layers of them. Some with fresh marks. They found clear, heavy footprints nearby. Over 13 inches long, deep impressions.
Oh, there's a third one right here, and in front of it looks like just the heel.
We got a track. That's more than 2. That's a really solid, weighty impression right there.
Russell and Maria scanned the prints in 3D, collected DNA, and made plaster casts. Bryce and Bo followed more vine rings. Some were decorated with animal fur, tightly tied like shoelaces. Were these trail markers, territorial signs, or something else? The layout almost looked like signs leading to the main structure. It all connected. The team wondered, was this a feeding ground? Or something more? Could it be a sacred site? Native stories speak of potlatches, communal gatherings. The signs pointed to something similar. Maybe this was where Bigfoot groups met. This could be the most important discovery yet. The rings, the structure, the layers of bones, the fresh tracks. It all told a story. For the first time, it wasn't just sightings.
They're drawn to this place.
Boom, boom, boom. Does Washington serve a purpose for these creatures?
There's a bone pit. And throughout this journey, it seems like we've come closer and closer to uncovering the truth.
It was a glimpse into how they might live. Why Washington? Why this place? The team left with more questions than answers. But they knew one thing for sure. They were not alone in these woods. The story comes from the YouTube channel Small Town Monsters. It happened in Northern California. Justin described the first red flag. After the shooting, a huge storm rolled in. Roads closed, highways blocked. They tried to return 2 or 3 days later but couldn't. Snow buried the site under 3 to 4 feet. They made it back 4 or 5 weeks later. Justin felt sure the body would still be there.
We tried to go like 2 or 3 days after the shooting. We weren't able to get back up there because there was like 3-4 feet of snow on the ground at that point. We made it back 4 or 5 weeks later.
They buried it well and expected to find it. Justin promised Derek that when the roads cleared, he'd bring him a piece, a skull, a hand, maybe something chewed but still intact. But when they returned, it was a mess. The landscape had changed. The snow wiped out their landmarks. They searched and searched. Justin's hound, trained to track dead animals, finally hit a spot. They dug. They found hair, fat, flesh, a decent sample. Justin cut pieces and sent them to multiple labs, including Melba Ketchum and Derek Randall's. 20 labs tested it. The results came back mixed. Some said it was human, others inconclusive. Justin's story caught attention. Resources poured in. Bigfoot researchers Bart Coutinho, Jeff Meldrum, John Mayanzinski, Paul Graves, and James Bobo joined the investigation. Bart was skeptical at first. He believed most of Bigfoot research was hoaxes or poor evidence. But he trusted Derek Randall's and joined the search. Watch here.
My name is Bart Coutinho, longtime Bigfoot researcher, about 2 decades. My personal life, I'm a financial professional, about a decade and a half.
The July 2011 expedition was serious. Derek, Bobo, Meldrum, and others met Justin, visited the site, and searched hard. Bart noted that the location matched Justin's descriptions exactly. The terrain fit his story. Bart began searching where a wounded creature might retreat, downhill, into cover. He tracked, searched, and investigated with precision. He admitted Justin's descriptions were highly accurate. Over several nights, Bart and Justin bonded. Bart learned more about Justin's story and found him open and honest.
You know how you get this perception in your brain when somebody's telling you a story and they lay it out for you and you kind of see it, you visualize it. It was almost exactly like I visualized it.
They scoured the site. Justin had reportedly buried the smaller creature under a bush. They searched that exact bush, crawled through the entire area, excavated a promising dirt mound, but found nothing. Despite their hard work, they found no remains. Bart wasn't surprised. Bodies don't last long in the wild. Predators, scavengers, weather, they all remove the evidence. Bart emphasized he looked everywhere. Blood, bone, hair, but found nothing. Watch here.
Like, that would be crazy. Sometimes you can find a bone, but usually you're going to find like a bone from a cow or something simple. You're not going to find, no one's ever found a bear skull. I mean, no one that I know in the hunting world or anything like that.
A decomposition-sniffing dog was brought in on the final day, but it was trained only to detect human remains. It might not react to anything else. The dog found nothing. Still, all the experts agreed the area matched typical Bigfoot habitats. Justin reflected on the intense public backlash, death threats, insults, family harassment. His hunting partner wanted nothing to do with the story. Justin never made money from it and tried to distance himself. He admitted he didn't know what he shot. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't human. It looked like a person in a bear suit. In that split second, the decision was made. His partner shot. Justin repeatedly said he told him not to shoot, but understood why it happened. Bart, Meldrum, and others hiked for days, covering 30 to 45 miles, canvassing the site with serious effort. They found no evidence, but left convinced something had happened. Justin later met more researchers and realized not everyone in the Bigfoot world was a hoaxer. Justin said serious Bigfoot researchers treated the creature like a real animal, not a ghost or alien. He met good people, and some who seemed mentally unstable. The drive for fame in the Bigfoot world, Justin said, was tempting but misleading.
The problem with this subject is it's a pretty big epiphany once you realize this creature is real. And, you know, the opportunity is there for somebody to be famous.
Justin warned if you ever get real proof, release it immediately. Don't wait. Don't sell it. Go live. Send photos to 10 people and tell them to send them to 10 more. That's the only way. Justin no longer wanted to be associated with the story. He admitted something incredible happened that day.
If Justin's story is true, then we know of at least 2 Sasquatch that have been shot. But in talking with Ken Walker, I learned that Justin is not the only person to claim to have shot and killed one.
Maybe it was Bigfoot, maybe not. He didn't claim certainty. He just knew it wasn't a bear.
I mean, I don't know if it goes that deep, the Sasquatch thing, but the government in general does when, like, they can have different agencies give you problems and they can, like, take away your money, then yeah, something's going on.
The Sierra Kill story still affects the Bigfoot community. Researchers like Ken Walker have heard other similar claims. People have shot them, but bodies disappear. Fear, guilt, and the wilderness erase the evidence. The deeper you go, the harder the truth is to find. Deep in the Russian wilderness, the nights don't feel empty. They feel alive. The silence isn't safe. It's heavy, thick. You know when you're being watched. And tonight the hunter knew it too. His steps were careful, his breath slow. Every movement calculated. He wasn't just here for a hunt. He was here for something else, something waiting in the shadows. He built his ambush high in the trees, a wooden stand hidden deep in the forest. He settled in, listening, watching. The wind went still, the air turned cold. Something was wrong. Here's what the camera actually captured. Suddenly branches shifted. Quick snaps echoed through the dark. The hunter froze. His body didn't move, but his pulse was racing. He scanned the trees. There, movement, fast, low, then gone. His breath stayed shallow. His hands locked on his camera. He didn't dare look away. The hours dragged on. The darkness pressed in around him. Every small sound mattered now. A crack, a shuffle, a faint step. Then silence, long, crushing silence. But the hunter knew. The forest wasn't empty. Watch this clip closely.
О, блядь. Тихо, 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 братан. Запыхался нахуй. Тихо. Там где-то, блядь.
A dark shape slipped between the trees. It moved fast, just a blink, and it was gone. The hunter's heart slammed in his chest. He panned his camera, searching the undergrowth. He caught nothing, but something was there, watching, waiting. The silence returned, heavier now. He didn't speak. He didn't move. Every sound hit his ears like a warning. A faint brush, a broken twig. His fingers tightened around his gear. He knew he wasn't alone. Take a look at this. Another loud crack. Heavy footsteps nearby. He turned his camera sharply, searching the thick woods, but nothing appeared. His flashlight stayed locked on. He refused to shut it off now. The danger felt close, too close. The forest pressed in, as if something was circling him. Here's the moment it happened. His light caught something, a shadow moving. A sudden sharp sound burst out, loud, close. The hunter didn't flinch. He stayed steady, gripping his camera, scanning every inch of the dark. The creature didn't step out, but it didn't leave either. The night dragged on, every second stretched. He stayed in that wooden stand, alone, surrounded by whispers, by movements just out of reach. He never saw it clearly, but he felt it. He heard it. He knew it was there. By morning, the sounds faded. The forest settled. He climbed down carefully. Slowly. He didn't speak. He didn't celebrate. The forest hadn't shown him its secret, but it had let him feel it, enough to know he wasn't alone. So what was it? Some say it was just a bear. Others believe it was something else, something we don't talk about, something that only comes when the night is deep and the silence is sharp. What do you think? Was this just another animal, or was it something much stranger? Something that didn't want to be seen? Have you ever spent a night like this? A night where you knew something was out there? A night where every sound made your skin crawl? Tell us in the comments. Share your story. Let's keep searching. Let's keep listening. There's something out there. And some nights, it's watching you. Out in the wild waters of British Columbia, stories travel fast. Stories of the Bukwus, the wild man of the woods. The local watchmen know these tales well, and some of them have lived them. It started in the early 2000s. A quiet floating gift shop anchored off Village Island. One day, a pair of kayakers stepped inside, uneasy. They asked a strange question. Who throws rocks out here? There's no one else. And out here, nothing throws rocks except the wild man. See for yourself.
We're wondering what it was. And I said, well, nothing throws rocks out here except for humans and Bukw, the wild man of the woods, the male Sasquatch. And it's one of their traits. It's a primate characteristic that Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall established back in the 60s with primates, that when threatened or curious, they'll throw rocks.
The kayakers had camped nearby. That night, while watching stars over calm water, rocks came from the trees behind them, small, precise, splashes in the silence. They thought it might be animals, but in these woods, that's not what animals do. Throwing rocks? That's something else. In primate research, this is a warning. Gorillas, chimps, they throw when they're threatened. And the Bukws? He does the same. The watchman knew it instantly. He told the kayakers what they had likely encountered. They didn't want to go back to their camp, so he helped them pack. But before leaving, he checked the site himself. Take a look at this.
But when we came here, of course, I went and looked behind the campsite here, and I found a tree snap. It was about that high, where something had grabbed a small spruce tree, busted it, and twisted it. Well, a human can't do that. And it wasn't snow damage, it was fresh. It had been done within a few hours. So that's another primate characteristic, especially of the North American Bigfoot.
Behind their camp, he found a tree snap, fresh, twisted, too strong for any human. This wasn't snow damage or accident, it was deliberate. Another warning, another sign. Tree snaps, rock throws, these are the Bukwu's signals. Primate behaviors, just like his distant relatives in the jungles, but out here, he's something else. Something that walks upright, something that watches from the dark. Years earlier, the watchman had already faced the Bukwus up close, back in 1994, out on a fishing boat near Village Island. That encounter is written in John Bindernagel's book, North America's Great Ape, the Sasquatch. Here's what the camera actually captured.
And for 20 minutes with my spotlight, we watched these two creatures, but I could see reflection of eye, two eyes, one eye, like something was breathing with its arm in front of it. And when we bring the dance of the Bukw, the wild man of woods, to life in our big ceremonies of potlatch and other events, you'll have a costume dancer with a fur-covered costume, a mask that looks like this ape, and when you dance it, you're down low like that.
3 crew members watched as 2 huge figures appeared on the shoreline. Massive, hair-covered, moving together. As the spotlight hit them, they dropped low, crouched. One figure held its arm up, hiding its face. Only the glint of an eye showed behind the fur. The scene was locked in memory. The stance, the posture, it matched the ceremonial dances of the Bukwus in indigenous potlatches. In the stories, the wild man always hides behind his arm. In that moment, the connection was real. Watch this clip closely.
And if you don't believe in it, come stay out here in October into November when the clams get good. And I guarantee you, you're going to believe in something that doesn't just snap, crack, pop in the bush at night. They may even come down and shake some foliage for you if they feel threatened. They may take a stick and bang it against a tree. Bang, 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 bang. And us Aboriginals, when we're taught hunting skills, as I taught my son and others.
Even now, the watchmen can hear their sounds. They chirp softly to each other. And when they need to warn you, they slam sticks against trees. Rapid, repeating, bang, bang, bang. In the native teachings, when you hear that sound, you turn around. You leave. The Bukwus is telling you, this is my place. Don't come closer. Some people don't listen. Some keep walking deeper. When people vanish in these remote places, it's not always injury or weather. Some disappear without a trace. No falls, no accidents, just gone. What if they went too far?
There's go on the internet and look about missing people who went camping and kayaking. There's always one or two that didn't break their leg or get hypothermia and die or have a heart attack. There's always that small percentage of people that probably didn't heed the warning of the Bukw and they went further in. And of course, when you're 700 pounds to 1,000 pounds.
The Bukw isn't just a legend whispered around campfires. He's part of the land, big, powerful, estimated at 700 to 1,000 pounds. A great ape of the Pacific Northwest. But more than his size, it's his warning signs that matter. The rock throws, the tree knocks, the heavy steps in the dark. When you hear it, you have a choice. Turn back, or find out what happens when you ignore him. What do you think? Were these ancient stories warning us all along? Have you ever heard something in the woods that didn't make sense? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your encounters. Let's keep exploring these mysteries together. Out here, the Bukw still watches, and some nights, he lets you know. It wasn't supposed to happen. Josh Highcliffe was just out in the Mississippi woods. A quiet day. Nothing unusual, until the forest gave him something he would never forget. A dark figure, massive, moving with purpose, and he caught it all on camera. This footage says it all.
In the annals of cryptid encounters, a particularly riveting incident unfolded in 2015 thanks to the now famous Josh Highcliffe video.
At first, the scene is peaceful, just trees, leaves rustling. But then, there it is, a dark, hulking shape. It moves fast, not a bear, not a man, something else. The camera wobbles, struggling to keep up, but the creature doesn't seem to care. It keeps working, focused, pulling at the base of a cypress tree, raw power on display. It grips, yanks, and tears chunks from the stump like it's nothing. Take a look at this.
What starts as an unassuming forest scene soon takes a chilling turn, captured through the lens of Highcliffe's camera.
You can see its fur, thick, black as obsidian. Its back is turned, but the size is undeniable. Broad shoulders, long arms. The strength is terrifying. The way it rips into the wood. This is not human. Josh holds the camera, breathing heavy, staying as quiet as he can. One wrong sound could change everything. You can feel the tension. He's close, too close. Watch this clip closely.
Initially resembling a serene forest backdrop, the footage takes an unexpected twist as a dark shadow, agile and eerily human-like, comes into focus.
The creature's movements are deliberate. It's not just grabbing random branches. It's digging into the Bukw, searching for something. Maybe food. Maybe just destroying. No hesitation, no fear. This is the skunk ape. That's what many call it, the southern cousin of Bigfoot. Sightings across Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi have painted the same picture. A bipedal creature, hair-covered, strong, and elusive. Here's what the camera actually captured.
The camera, initially wobbling in its attempt to capture a steady shot, reveals a large bipedal creature covered in fur so dark it borders on obsidian.
When you pause the frame, you see the curve of its back, the muscles shifting as it pulls. It's locked in, focused on its task. It doesn't know or doesn't care that Josh is watching. People have argued over this footage for years. Some say it's a person in a suit. Others say no suit moves like that. No suit carries that weight, that power, with that much ease. And then there's the sound, the snapping of the wood. Crisp, loud, real. You can almost feel the vibration through the video.
Positioned with its back to the camera, the creature exhibits an almost primal strength, pushing itself against the stump of a tree and forcibly tugging at it, tearing off parts of a cypress tree with apparent ease.
What would you do if you stumbled on this scene? Would you keep filming? Would you run? Josh's video exploded online. The skunk ape story resurfaced, grabbing headlines, dividing believers and skeptics all over again. But here's the thing. Encounters like this, they've been reported long before cameras were around, long before the name Bigfoot even existed. In the legends, these creatures are guardians of the wild, powerful, curious, and sometimes dangerous. Some researchers point to the way it moved, the speed, the control, the human-like body covered in thick, dark hair.
It's a mesmerizing yet unsettling sight, the creature seemingly immersed in a forceful interaction with the natural surroundings. The Josh Highcliffe video remains a compelling piece of evidence, sparking debates and speculation among viewers, eager to decipher the nature of the mysterious creature captured in those haunting moments within the Mississippi wilderness.
Others focus on the details, the arm length, the way it tore the tree apart. The grip strength needed to do that isn't something most animals can match. The skunk ape is part of Southern folklore. But in this video, it feels real. It feels close. You can argue about the footage. You can break it down frame by frame. But in the end, there's something about it you can't shake. Josh saw something, and he caught it. What do you think? Was this a skunk ape or something else? Have you ever come face to face with something you can't explain? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your stories. Let's keep chasing these mysteries together. Out in those woods, some things don't want to stay hidden forever. Salish Sasquatch evidence from Washington. Something was watching. Something was close. And for one unforgettable week in 2013, the Sasquatch came to the Brown family's backyard.
And it started on October 31st of 2013 when my brother-in-law and husband got a thermal video of a Sasquatch that lasted over 2 minutes. Now, if you haven't seen that, I'm going to link it down in the description for you to check out. If you haven't seen it, you're definitely going to want to see that because...
This wasn't just random noise. This was direct contact, footprints, voices, movement, and a thermal video that changed everything. The story comes from the YouTube channel Salish Sasquatch, run by Jonathan and Sarah Brown, who live on an Indian reservation in Washington state. Over the years, they've collected some of the clearest Bigfoot evidence from their own property. But this one week in October and November 2013, it was on another level. It started on October 31st when Jonathan and his brother-in-law filmed a Sasquatch on thermal over 2 minutes of footage. If you haven't seen that, it's a must-watch. That clip still stands as one of the best thermal captures of a Sasquatch out there. But what happened next is what pulls you in. Just 2 days later, on November 3rd, something came right up to their audio recorder. Heavy, slow breathing. It wasn't just passing by. It was curious. Listen to this moment.
Now, all the cows were gone at this point. They were all removed by November 1st. Something came up to the audio and did some very odd, heavy breathing.
The sound is too close, too deliberate. 15 minutes later, it came back. Same deep breathing, just inches from the recorder. It's rare to catch that kind of up-close presence, especially without human interference. That same week, one of the Brown family's most famous audio captures returned, the Yip Yeller. Around 2 a.m., his sharp vocal bursts echoed through the property. 2 days later, on November 5th, his voice came back again, stronger, clearer. And by early morning, another voice joined him. A second Sasquatch, possibly female. Listen carefully.
So November 6th was the day that we put in the SD card and watched the thermal video, and of course we were blown away. We went to the ridge later that day and we cast a 16.5-inch footprint. And there was actually 2 of them. There was a right and a left print, but the only one that was castable, being on the ridge, was the right footprint.
Their calls overlap. 2 distinct tones, 2 beings. On November 6th, they reviewed the thermal footage for the first time and realized what they'd caught. That same day, they found and cast a 16.5-inch footprint on the ridge. Not just one. There was a left and a right, but only one was castable. By November 7th, the Browns were finding more. 3 new impressions along the ridge. The pattern continued. That night at 9:45 p.m., a new voice appeared on the audio. This one was different. Lower, rougher. Some call him the big guy. His voice rumbled through the recorder. Hard to understand, but impossible to ignore.
Also very interesting was that week we tried something with stones. We always hear that Sasquatch will mess with stones or rocks in your yard or garden or whatever. So we took a pile of stones and put them on top of a fence post.
The deep growl sticks with you. That same week, they tested something else. They stacked small stones on a fence post in an area the Sasquatch frequented. Each time the result was the same. Half the stones would disappear. Never all of them, just half. 3 times in a row. What does that mean? Could this have been intentional? Could the stones be part of a subtle exchange? One thing's clear. The Sasquatch were moving through the property, night after night. They weren't just passing by. They were watching, breathing, calling, and leaving signs. The Browns caught slow, side-to-side movements on video, steady shifting, up and down. Watch this final clip.
They're moving along. Here also. So we get this kind of motion, swaying motion. Clearly some more movement going on.
The movement is subtle, but it's there, real, measured. The Browns didn't just stumble onto this. They tracked it. They lived it. So what do you think? Was this just coincidence, or did the Sasquatch intentionally engage that week? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever heard anything like this? Hit like and subscribe if you want more real Sasquatch encounters caught on tape. Something was there. Up high, perched on the ridge. It wasn't just a shadow, it wasn't just a tree. Something dark, something heavy was watching. Daniel Benois locked his camera onto it, trying to hold steady, focusing, zooming. There it was. That figure, dark against the hillside.
I keep seeing something up there, up on the hill there on the lower part of the ridge. I don't know, it could be a stump. It's a dark image up there.
Could it be a stump? Maybe, but then it moved. The dark shape shifted, slow, careful, like it knew it was being watched. Daniel kept zooming in, trying not to lose focus. His camera wobbled, but the shape stayed in sight. It looked like the figure had ducked lower. It was trying to hide. Daniel wasn't alone. They scanned the ridge. They kept their eyes on it. The figure was to the left now. The head moved again. It was playing games.
It's all blurry. I mean, the image looks blurry, but you can see it moving.
Peekaboo in the woods. It wasn't standing still. It was moving, sliding behind the bushes, shifting just enough to stay hidden, but not enough to disappear. Watch this part closely.
Look. Yeah. Look at it. It moved.
Its head moved.
It's moving. It's trying to hide from us. Dude, look.
There he went again. He's playing high-boo.
Dude, he's moving. There's a squatch up there. He's blurred. It's because I try not to zoom in too much.
The shape slides again. A quick move. It ducks. Then it pops back up. Blurry but visible. Daniel holds the camera steady, but the zoom makes it hard to focus. The image softens, but you can still see it. That dark figure, still watching. It's like the Squatch knew, like it was testing them, moving just enough to stay seen, but always keeping distance.
Let's turn around. Let's both turn this way. Well, now you keep facing that way. If we look away, maybe it'll move.
It never stepped into the open. It never fully disappeared. Daniel tried something different. He looked away. Maybe, just maybe, if they weren't staring, it would move again. He turned his back. The others looked away too. For a moment they pretended not to watch. And right then, the figure moved again, slipping around, pacing behind the trees. It didn't leave. It stayed close. It didn't want to lose them either. Catch it yourself.
Look, he's moved. You can't hardly see him now. Now he's almost, you can't see him no more. Wow.
The movement's faint, but it's there. The figure slides deeper behind the brush. It's playing a slow game of shadow and cover. They kept moving along the ridge. The woods stretched out around them. Quiet, still, but Daniel heard it. Movement in the distance.
But you could watch it move and go down and then go, it was going in between the bushes.
A faint sound of something walking. He heard it again. Closer this time. A snap. A step. Something was still out there, keeping pace. This wasn't new. Daniel had been here before. The feeling was the same, like something was always nearby, just out of reach. The trees were thick. The gully below was the perfect hiding place. Dense laurel brush and a low drop. A natural cover. A place to move without being seen. As they followed the ridge, they found something else. Tracks, fresh ones. Footprints pressed into the soft ground. The shape was clear. The heel dug deep. The toes spread wide. The track pointed straight ahead. Look right here.
Now this here looks like a track going this way. There's a heel. And here's your toes right there going that way. We didn't see that one before. There's another one up here.
A second track. This one overlaps the first. Something else stepped there. The ground still held the imprint. You could see the path, the direction it went. The trail wasn't random. It followed a clear route. A path that looked like it had been used many times, well-worn, pressed down, hidden inside the trees. Daniel knew this was where they moved, where they traveled, where they watched.
All right, something, go ahead. Look, it got stepped on by something. Because look, this track right here, this here had toes right up. Oh, wait a minute.
Down in the gully, the path continued, a space they could move through easily, out of sight. From the ridge above, they could track anyone passing by. Daniel remembered the last time he'd been there. He'd heard something move right beside him, but saw nothing. Now he wondered if the same thing was happening again. They checked the area where Daniel's trail camera had been set. If the camera caught anything clear, it could be huge. The shot they'd all been waiting for. The proof.
So was this one here? This was another track right here. Yeah, there you can see the toes right there.
Daniel was ready. He wanted to get a clean photo, one that no one could deny. If he captured it, he wanted people to try and challenge it. The search pushed on toward a narrow trail. A small creek cut across the path, but it was easy to cross with stepping stones. On the other side, they headed for a small open space they called the picnic area. It was a quiet clearing, tucked away in the trees. Maybe something would happen there.
Cause yeah, we're coming up to where me and Fred found those tracks. And now because we had some heavy rain the other night, so they may not be here no more. Although this area looks kind of dry. Right here, because this area right here it probably got sheltered from the rain a little bit, so maybe that track is still preserved.
Daniel stayed sharp. The woods weren't empty. The movement, the prints, the feeling of being watched. It all pointed to something still being out there, still close. Did Daniel capture a Sasquatch on camera? Watch the footage. Study the movement. Decide for yourself. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Hit like. Subscribe for more real encounters. Stay tuned. The search isn't over. Which clip hit you the hardest? And why do you think people tried to bury these? Let's talk in the comments. Smash that like button if this gives you chills, And subscribe for more finds that weren't meant to surface. Because if they hid these, what else is still out there? Which moment got to you the most? Are we catching Bigfoot, or is Bigfoot catching us? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you spotted something before we did, and subscribe for more encounters you'll want to replay. Because sometimes, the scariest thing is what's already watching.